I still remember walking into the gym for the first time, and yeah, it is scary. You walk past the weights room, you see all the guys lifting, grunting, all muscly. You think, yeah, I'd like to be like that, but you haven't got quite the courage to go in there just yet. So I remember going straight onto the treadmill and doing that for half an hour instead.
In fact, I've never actually had a gym membership. I think the only time I've ever had a gym membership was when I went away when I was like 18 on holiday, and for the week I signed up to the gym, and that was the only time I've ever had a membership. And apart from when I want to get away from my workplace, that's when I go to a different gym now and then. But other than that, when I was in between 14, 18, growing up, I always did weights at home. Technically it wasn't great, I won't lie, and I've definitely missed out a few muscle groups, but yeah, never actually ever had a gym membership.
I suppose in primary school is when I first started to get interested in sport, especially football. But towards the end of primary school, like year 5 and year 6, I think I did most sports. And yeah, loved it. I wouldn't say I'd say I was quite a chubby kid at school. I wasn't the greatest shape, even at the age of 12. But then going to secondary school, I became more interested in lifting the weights. Mainly at home, I had a couple of dumbbells, a barbell. I remember my brother buying me some nice iron set as well, so they were quite decent ones. But yeah, like I said a minute ago, I'm sure I definitely missed out a couple of muscle groups and just trained chest and biceps. Legs was non-existent. I didn't know what legs was.
After leaving sixth form, I really didn't do a lot with my life. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. I suppose I'd always liked fitness, sport, I always liked football. So something down the sport route was probably where I was going to go. For about a year of my life, I went on the dole, and that was a very low time. It wasn't good. But through going on the dole, I actually gained some work experience through Active Life, who I work with now. I did a little bit of volunteer work there, and then luckily from there, it just progressed, and then they offered me a job, some full-time hours, and it's just gone from there. So that was when I was around 20, 21, and then 5 years later, still there, but knowledge has gone way, way up there, and yeah, I definitely think I've become a better person for it. But of course, I did have to get qualifications before I could actually start working Active Life. I didn't just go straight from sixth form into the work. So after the sixth form, I actually went into college for 1 year. I did a level 2 fitness instructing course, and like I said, that's just because I like sport. That's not where necessarily what I wanted to do. That was just because I like sport. And it also, I think I was quite lazy. I just wanted I didn't want to find a job. I wanted to just have something to do, so I wasn't just sitting around the house. College, it wasn't hard, but I wasn't, for some reason, I didn't want to lift weights anymore. Kind of fell out of love with it a little bit, so I was really into it from like 16 to 18, and then going to college, I think because I didn't know where I was going to go in my life, I think that you lose interest in it, and then once you're out of the route, it's hard to get back into it, and I'm sure many of you know what that feels like. So yeah, so going through college, not even training, but training to be a personal trainer didn't feel right, but I got through the course, and then which led to me then going on to the dole and then getting my work experience.
Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating when people just assume that they're going to get results overnight when it doesn't happen like that. It takes years to get where you want to be. And the pictures you're looking at now, this is when I was just training at home, not really knowing anything about nutrition. To be fair, not knowing anything about weights. And as you can see, when I went on my Mali holiday, started to bulk up a little bit. Nutrition was getting a little bit better. My knowledge was increasing all the time. Still not the greatest, but I had a fair idea of what I was doing. And then it came down to me just, through my lack of knowledge and not knowing what to do properly, I wanted to bulk up. Now, I did do it in the complete wrong way, whereas I ate everything and anything in sight. Now, I would never advise to doing this because, as you can see from the photos, gained a lot of fat. So this is where I got to my lowest point. Got up to 16 stone. It wasn't good. Especially, it's not very nice when people start to comment saying, you're starting to look fat now, you're not just looking like you bulked up, it's starting to look like fat. It's hard mentally then to accept that. But it got to one day, and I just thought to myself, you've got to sort this out. So this is probably the biggest point in my life where I went from a biggest change from 16 stone down to pretty where I am now, really. It was tough, hard, mentally more than physically.
So trying to lose all that weight from 16 stone, that was hard, believe me, very hard. But it is doable. It does take time. You do have to be patient. But if you keep persisting with it, eventually it will come. And you are going to have ups and downs. I definitely did. I had days where I wanted to give up. But you have to do it for yourself. It is going to be hard, but trust me, it is all worth it in the end. And then, from then getting in shape, to then, that's when I started to see myself as quite a knowledgeable person in the gym. My nutrition as well as training techniques were always getting better and better. Doing new courses, learning new stuff. I found myself getting better and better every single time I did a different goal. I might have done a little mini bulk, then a mini cut in between to where I am now. But from that 16 stone to where I am now was the hardest thing I have ever done.
So I was my heaviest in March 2013, and then my Australia travelling, that came around in January 2015. So it took me just under 2 years to get to the pictures you're looking at now. It was a great feeling. There's no better feeling going around Australia, obviously with all the beaches, the sun, the sea. Walk around your top off feeling happy of what you've achieved. I mean, all that food prep, all that cardio, all that intense weight sessions, it was all worth it, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. And then I decided to step it up even more. So even through now, I'm still learning, still getting better every time, finding out something different about myself every time I set myself a new goal. So a few months later, I went to America travelling, and this was, by this point, the best physique I think I have ever achieved. And it felt good. I really did myself proud, so happy of what I had achieved. And then in America, I ate what I want, didn't worry about anything, put a bit of weight back on. And then in September 2015 is when things really kicked off for me.
So from all that of what I've explained now, that is built so much confidence. I couldn't tell you how much confidence. It's a ridiculous amount of confidence. So in September 2015 is when I decided to enter my first physique show. Now, if you had told me that 7 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. I would not have believed that at all. Just because I was so shy, so unconfident, if you like. That, when I say losing the 16 stone to where I am now, was the hardest point in my life. A competition prep was a new experience for me. Now that is one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've done it 3 times now. It's not going to get any easier, but you are going to learn something new about yourself every single time. So my first competition was where I came 4th in my beach body category. Now, by no means do I think I'm the biggest person, the most ripped, or the best physique in the world. I don't think that at all. I know there's a lot of people out there with a lot better physique than mine, but I was proud of what I have achieved. So I wanted to go into a physique show to see what I could do. Now, I knew my body type, my look would fit more into a beach body compared to a fitness model. So that's what I decided. I decided to do both categories. But I think deep down I knew my physique was more about a beach body look. Lucky enough, I came fourth. And then I got an email a few weeks later inviting me to compete in the World Championships, which of course I accepted. And then that was those 8 weeks. I have never worked, grinded so hard in all my life.
Because the World Championship is only 8 weeks after where I competed in the first show, I think I'm pretty much just had to maintain my physique and then just change things here and there to where I think I might have gone wrong or could improve upon. I definitely think in the first show is where I learned the most about myself. So for example, I felt like I had perhaps lost too much weight, didn't eat enough leading up to the show, and at times could look just quite skinny. But when I pumped up, it looked okay. But I definitely felt I could have improved upon what I'd achieved there. And like in 8 weeks later, I think I definitely did bring a much better package to the stage. And without doubt, in my opinion, perhaps the best physique I have ever achieved.
In fourth place, number 107, Dan Reiner.
So yeah, I reckon 8 weeks later was definitely my best physique I've ever had. I adjusted a few things this time around. I consumed more carbohydrates. I just ate meals more consistently and was it's so strict. I can't tell you how strict I was in that 8 weeks. Like ridiculous. It was so hard, believe me, but it was so worth it as well. The emotions you go through during a contest prep, I can't really explain. It's just so mentally it plays with your head. You got to try and get over that and don't let it beat you. You are going to have ups and downs, just like you would generally dieting usually. But it's like an extreme level of ups and downs. You can be eating the same foods day in, day out. You're tired, you have no energy, you don't want to go to the gym, but you have to get it done. And then once you step off stage, I guarantee you it'll be the best feeling you ever have. I think you can definitely tell this time around I was a lot more confident. My posing was a lot better. My stage presence was a lot better as well. On the day I generally felt quite good. I have never worked so hard in 8 weeks in all my life. I can't tell you how accurate my training was, my nutrition was. It was so on the point, but it was so worth it. And then just to think that 7 years ago I was this, I suppose if you like, skinny lad to now, to then 16 stone, to then lose all of that weight, all that prep, all that hard work, just for this moment. And I couldn't have been more happy when they called my number.
Place, your new beach body champion, number 147, Dan Reiner. And thank you to all of our gentlemen on the stage.
I cannot tell you how emotional it was when my number was called out for first place. Words can't describe it. I couldn't even tell you what I felt at the time. The first thing I remember is how happy I was just to go back into the audience, see my friends and family, and just see them. I just couldn't wait to do it. I was so happy. I didn't actually sleep for the next 48 hours because I was so excited. My friends were texting me, and my friend in New Zealand, who I haven't seen in a long time, was messaging me I was up all night messaging him. I was just so excited and so happy. And then, yeah, that was by far the biggest achievement I have done to this day. So if you follow me regularly on other social media, you know I also competed in April of this year and came third in the International Male Model. And now my next step is going to be, obviously what I'm in prep for now, the purely pro World Championships at the O2 in London on the 5th of November, because winning that Beachbody World Championships, I earned my pro status, so I can now enter that and hopefully try and regain what I achieved last year. And I wanted to make this video just to show you guys that I was not gifted with, even though I don't think my physique's the best in the world, I don't think that at all. But if you think I have a good physique, I wasn't gifted with it. I've had to work hard for the last 7 years to get to this point. You've had to make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and then just adjust it every single time, find out what works best for me. And then it's led to me the shape I am now. So it's all the stuff you don't see that is the hard stuff. All the meal prep, all the mental mind games that people can't see, they don't know what you're going through. That is the toughest bit. But even just looking through them photos and looking through my journey that you've just seen there, you can see how much my confidence has grown. And that is just simply just down from the gym and fitness. I mean, even just doing social media is so hard. Putting like your life, if you like, on social media, especially with YouTube. But stuff like Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, all of that also does build confidence. So if you're looking to start your own fitness journey, then do it. Do it for yourself. I promise you at the end of the day, it's all going to be worth it. It's not going to be easy. You are going to struggle at times. There is going to be things stopping you. There are going to be negative people who put you down, but you have to put that out of your mind. Ignore them. Concentrate on yourself. And eventually, don't give up. One day, you'll get there. And I'm going to say now that how much the gym and fitness in general can change your life is ridiculous. Up until I was around 21, I would not say anything to anybody. I was probably the shyest person you would ever meet on this planet. And then just from work and then using the gym and seeing results like monthly and then yearly, it builds confidence. It makes you into a better person, and it makes you happy. So for me, the gym really isn't my life. The gym has given me a life.